Hello, everybody. It's Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back again. Wow, what an insane Better Call Saul episode here, live with you guys. Like I said before on my community post, I would be doing live reviews afterwards. And wow, this was just an insane episode. Lots to cover here. I took some notes here while watching the episode. I have something to mention at the end that happened that really pissed me off at the end, not about the episode, but something that actually happened at my house. Yo, I know, man, crazy. I see the comment there, man. I'll actually just say right now. So actually, when I was watching the final scene here, my power cut out. Like right as the van was, right as they were all getting out of the van, my power went out here for like 30 seconds. Luckily, I got it back on to see the final moments of what happened. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the full episode breakdown here, get into that final scene and all the other scenes throughout. It was just such a crazy episode. Yeah, 9.9 IMDb, man. I think it's gonna be up there. I think that this was like a top five episode of the series, and it's crazy. It was like the third episode. Usually they save the really big episodes for the end or right at the beginning, like episode one. It's just crazy, man. So yeah, let's get into that. I got some notes here, just breaking down some of the scenes from the episode. So this episode, of course, was titled "Rock in a Hard Place," and this perfectly describes the situation that Nacho is in. We've seen how Nacho's been struggling in the first two episodes, and it's just insane to see what it has come to. You see just how much of a predicament he's in, and it's really, really crazy. So yeah, let's get into it. So we first start here with this sort of mysterious opening scene here. We see this sort of landscape out in like the middle of nowhere, and we see this blue flower and we see this glass, which of course we see comes into play in the final scene. But there was a lot of people theorizing on Twitter what this could be. I kind of thought to myself, thinking of blue, I'm like, is this a sign of Heisenberg or Walter White coming up soon? That was one thing that I kinda had in my mind, was that, it was really just kinda left it open, so I definitely feel like this is gonna be expanded upon more, and we're gonna get more clues of what that is. I heard a lot of people said that this was, a part of the Dead Freight episode from Breaking Bad. It was, seen with the tarantula jar, that's what they thought the piece of glass was, but we find out eventually where that comes from. What do you think there will be for Nacho's dad? I think that they're going to stay true to their word. I think that Mike is going to end up protecting Nacho's dad. Um, I just feel like Mike, he wants to keep Nacho's promise, um, definitely. So that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, like I said, so that was the opening scene, and then next year we have the aftermath of the shootout at the Motel Octillo. We see the twins following Nacho here, and then Nacho kind of finds this convenient space in an oil truck where he kind of hides sort of under the oil to uh, not have the twins find him. It's still a cat and mouse game between them. That was a great follow up scene. And then next here we see the conversation from the other side of the phone from the last episode. So if you followed last episode, you remember the conversation with Mike, Tyrus, and Gus, um, all in the room when Nacho called him. And we finally get to see it from Nacho's perspective here. So before we even get to that call, we see the first call. Nacho, after he finally escapes the twins, he goes and finds this place where he's able to use a phone, and he calls his papa, his dad's father, and he's checking to see if he's okay, making sure that you know he hasn't been killed yet, or Gus or the cartel haven't gotten to him. And he kind of knows that this is kind of like a last resort or last phone call. You can see it in his eyes and in his voice. It's really, really heartbreaking. And then you finally see the conversation with Mike, Gus, and Tyrus here. Um, Mike's trying to help out Nacho, and basically what Nacho brokers a deal with Gus because he knows that if the Salamancos catch him, that they're going to torture him to talk, and then that it's going to lead back to Gus. So he's basically saying how Gus has been trying to kill him this whole time, and he kind of brokers this deal where he guarantees his father's safety in exchange for his own life. So you see this Nacho, has come to this sort of conclusion that he has to accept this fate because there's just no way he's going to be able to get out of this. So kind of brokers this deal with Gus and Mike, and we see how that goes. But now let's move into the other side of the story, the Jimmy and Kim side of the story here for the episode. We see them planning the next con of Howard here, of course, with their big elaborate scheme to ruin Howard's career. And we see basically them putting together a bunch of sticky notes and plans to uh, kind of take over Howard's car and kind of get him ready for this next setup here. So that was great to see. And then we cut to the courthouse and we see Suzanne, one of the lawyers we see usually a lot of the time here, and she spots Kim and lets Kim know about the whole Jorge de Guzman situation here. So they find out, of course, that Jorge de Guzman is Lalo Salamanca, and they find out that he had been killed, or they think he has been killed at his house. And Kim, of course, Jimmy never told Kim that what Mike told him about how they were going to go kill Lalo. So this is all news to her, and basically she kind of talks about how the employee or lawyer confidentiality would be broken in the case that Jimmy somehow knew that Lalo was a part of the cartel, and how Jimmy's worked with associates before, like Ignacio, Nacho Varga, and other associates like that, and basically is trying to say we can broker this deal for Jimmy to rat on the on the cartel to get anyone else off the street, because Kim's like, well, Lalo's already dead, or of course, like I said, she thinks this at this time. Well, Lalo's already dead. How are we going to get back at him, or what purpose does this serve? And basically, the lawyers are just trying to get Jimmy to flip. That's basically like their mo here, and Kim is pretty much kind of shocked by all this news. Then next here we finally see, again, going back to the cartel side with Nacho and Mike, we see Nacho and Mike meet again. They're down, and Nacho kind of has his last meal here, prepared for him. Him and Mike have a nice talk. Not something too long, but they kind of know what's going to happen. And Victor tries to come in and is like, we need to rough him up a bit more. And Mike's like, I'll handle it. Um, and they both know what's got to happen here. Um, basically, again, Mike is trying to look out for what Nacho wants here. And we see how Gus uh, of course, brokers Nacho into saying how it was Alvarez of another crew out in Peru who set up this entire um scheme against Lalo, pretty much to throw blame off of Gus and distract Gus here. And then let's bring it back to Jimmy and Kim's side of the story, and we get another guest appearance here by Big Hugh Babenau. Hugh is back in this episode, and it was great to see. So basically, they have this little con that that Jimmy and Kim have been planning, and they need Hugh's help for this. Uh, it's the con of the valet, because what their plan is they're trying to get the keys for Howard's car and set up this next plan here. So what they have to do is they go through the valet, um, and Hugh is there at the bottom of the steps. And of course, with his great pickpocketing skills, he pickpockets the keys off of the guy. The guy runs upstairs. He realizes the keys are gone, and they're basically making this other set of keys, or dupe set of keys. And tensions are high. This guy's coming back. Got to make sure um, that they get this done in time, and then they finally do. Huel just such a legend. Standing his ground, looking on lookout here, and they put the keys back to where the employee can find them, but they already have the dupe set of keys. Then Huel meets Jimmy out at his car, and has a little bit of a heart to heart. He says, "You're a lawyer, right? You make good money. You have some good days." And Jimmy's like, "Yeah, some good and bad days." And he's like, "Why are you doing this? And Why are you conning people? What you don't need the money." And we pretty much know that it's for the thrill of it. Jimmy loves this stuff. Uh, he kind of like the famous Walter White line. "I did it for me." Uh, that's what Jimmy does it for. It's just he does it for himself. And yeah, so that was a great scene here. But now let's get back to the scene that probably most of you want to see. I see a lot of people are asking, what happened with Nacho? Did Nacho die? What happened? Um, so again, this is a spoiler review here. So the final scene here, um, Gus, Mike, Tyrus, Victor, Nacho all go out in a van to meet the Salamancas and Hector and Bolsa. And basically, Mike, is out looking. He's a sniper at this time, so he has a nice shot of pretty much everything that's going on. And Gus is they're trying to broker this deal with the Salamancas and Hector that that Gus has him, puts him out on the desert, and um, you see Hector fucking going crazy. Ring, 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 ring. He's freaking dinging his bell. He's like saying how Gus is responsible for all this. And then this is the part where my power went out. So I missed a little bit of this conversation that was going on here at that point. And then basically here next, you see Nacho just going off. He sticks to what Gus's alibi is. How Alvarez is the one who set up Lalo, and Nacho's been working as a double agent for him when we know he's been working with Gus as a double agent. And he tells this to Hector, the Salamancas, and Bolsa, and basically what happens next is Bolsa's there, and Nacho, he freaking lays it in on Hector. He lets all his frustrations out. He tells Hector, "I'm the one who put you in that wheelchair. I'm the one who switched out your heart medications. If it wasn't for this man, you'd have been dead. Um, uh, think of me every time you're in the wheelchair and every time you're sipping jello out of a straw. I'm the one who put you in that predicament." And basically, what happens is Nacho, he freaking gets the gun off of Bolsa, and he has Bolsa gun put to Bolsa's head, and then Mike's wondering what's going to happen, and then Nacho takes the gun off Bolsa's head. Nacho puts it to his head. Boom. Good night. Crazy epic scene. Probably like the best scene in Better Call Saul yet. It was just insane. I'm glad I was able to catch the ending. Like I said, I mentioned it so much that my power went out. I was just so glad that I was able to see that final scene. It was just insane. Nacho blows his head off, and then Hector comes. The freaking twins carry his wheelchair. They're carrying him in his wheelchair. Hector comes and freaking just ends up shooting Nacho over and over and over again, even though he's already dead. Just crazy, crazy scene. And that's where it leaves off. So, yeah, let's take a look at some other questions here before I go here. So, that was basically the review here for Better Call Saul season 6, episode 3. I will be archiving this for you guys here on the channel. But yeah, let's go over a little bit of questions that you guys had. But if you guys had asked me, Rock in a Hard Place, 10 out of 10. I think this episode. Possibly could be the best of season 6, and I think it's already a top 5 episode of the show. This episode was just amazing. I'm not sure if I prefer it over Bagman or not because Bagman was pretty badass as well. But that I think that ending scene was probably the best scene in the entire show so far. I'm definitely gonna be rewatching it because I missed some of it, and it's gonna be all over YouTube and all over Twitter. So yeah, just crazy, crazy to see. So yeah, what do you think there will be for Nacho's dad? I kind of already answered that. I feel like Mike looked at Nacho like he looked at Jesse. He looked at Nacho like a son of him, kind of. Yeah, he really did. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying this is why we can see Mike caring for Nachos or Mike caring for Jesse so much in Breaking Bad is because of all this stuff that's going on with Nacho here. And then I've already answered all the stuff about Nacho. Um, yeah, he definitely looked at Nacho like a son, man. Of course, we all know about Mike's past with his own son, and a lot of people, like I said, I saw on Twitter comparing Nacho to Jesse. Just a tragic, tragic story here, and someone that really Mike cared about a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. It's gonna be here on the channel if you guys want to rewatch it. Uh, again, this is going to be a week to week thing. So, for all you Better Call Saul fans, tune back in here next week, Monday. Again, it's going to be right after the episode. So, sometime between 10 and 10:15 will probably be around the time I'm going live here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and live stream, and peace out. Oh, ultimately, Gus was responsible for Nacho's death. I definitely agree with that. Um, all the way. So yeah, like I said, peace out.